What's up, everyone? It's a little scalpel out, baby. Let's fucking go. Guys, mission failure today. Mission failure, man. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. Mission failure. If I could grade my executions today, I would give it a solid F minus. Okay. Um, and I try not to sit here and beat myself up, but at the same time, I try to take it serious. Um, yeah, we're just kind of gonna go over these trades. You won't fucking find a winner today. Last week, Friday, when I made that video, that was a great showcase of some really great trades, what to do. And in today's video, when I go over these trades, there's a lot of what not to do. But guys, I got to put it all on the table, even when I don't want to. And let's just get into it, man. This first trade on STI was a very similar setup to what I've been seeing. A pop in pre-market, consolidation going into 7 a.m. and kind of like a downtrend break. And that's kind of what you've seen here. Now on this one, we were already up about 140%. So I think that could have been an indication like, this is up a lot. I don't remember if it had news or not, but if it didn't, that would have been another kind of like indication like, hey man, how much is this thing going to go up? But yeah, I don't really want to go over too much, like I took this trade and then we're just going to go over that. Now this thing put in a beautiful first pullback right here. This was a great trade that I did not take. Probably would have been better. Really nice flat consolidation here. And I guess, it was close enough to the 5 right there. The 5, I'm sorry, E8 EMA on the 5-minute. Maybe it just was ready to go. But this was a pretty nice setup right here. And I didn't take any. But I guess looking at this, I could have, I was watching it because once I seen this candle right here flip to a green candle and then wanted to break that first 5-minute candle to make it high, that would have been a good entry right there. And you can see a lot of people stepped in on that. That was not bad at all. I did not take this trade, but you can kind of see it. Here's a brand new 5-minute candle. Could have risked the low of the pullback, but I just think this was a little higher up for me. I kind of wanted to see it come down, test the 1 minute 20, which is typically how I trade these. I kind of wanted to see if this candle will come down, test the 5-minute 8, but as you can see, it very quickly flipped green here. Made a big push. I'm not sure how I would have managed my risk on it. I guess, yeah, risking the low of this pullback, but long story short, I didn't take this trade, and I went and cleared out that pre-market level right off the rip. Now, seeing this, in hindsight, I think this is kind of the move that I would have wanted. Again, the very first pullback, it didn't really set up that picture perfect 5-minute flag look, but this was still a 5-minute 3-bar. This was kind of the trade right there. And I looked for the next pullback after this, and I had the question to myself now as I'm looking at it, if it was really even worth me taking 2 trades on this, because I tried it twice. When this is really the goal here, and it's just unfortunate that I missed this and I didn't take this trade, and that it cleared out that pre-market high very quickly. But I mean, sometimes that's just how it is, Sometimes that's just how it is. And I think this was the move right there that I was looking for. So, this next pullback coming up, I guess you kind of would have considered it the second 5-minute flag. I didn't really trade it in that manner. So yeah, I mean, we just made this big move right here, and we're already up over 150%. I think it was just too much too soon early in the morning, and it clearly just didn't have that much gas left in the tank. But I was seeing like this pullback right here, and I was willing to trade it how I normally do. You see, we just finally tapped the 5-minute 8 right there. And I went ahead and took an entry, looking kind of for this 5-minute flag look right here. And I think I got stopped out right here. So my risk on this one should have been 775. And I think I stopped out a tiny bit early right here. I did, because we didn't really, I would have risked 774. Let's just say a penny under my, a penny under that level. It didn't come through on the tape. And ultimately it held up a little bit right there. I tested it again. I think I took another stab here once I seen that level was trying to hold up right there. Again, kind of looking for another move higher, but just looking at this chart right now, couldn't really see it in the moment. This was the move that I wanted to get, and unfortunately, it kind of just set up like this longer 1 minute pullback. Held the 1 minute 8 right here. Didn't even come back to the 1 minute 20. But um, yeah, I think this was the move that I wanted, and I can consider this now on the backside. So I think that this was a backside trade. This could have went right here. I mean, it still looked like it wanted to make a decent move right here. Look at that. That's a first 5 minute candle to make a new high right here. And I did have a position right here. Unfortunately, I really wanted to see this at least test a 55 right here, which would have been the high of this 5 minute candle right here, and then clear out for even new high on the day. But I don't think it had the gas in the tank, man. We're up about 150% even right here. And you can see we were getting a good increase in volume right here. I really wanted to see this continue. My telltale sign was when we started to make this pullback right here. This had to go. This had to go for me. Once we pull away from my entry, it sets up like a pullback right here. You want to see this breakout and go. I was telling myself if we start to break down here, it's just not worth it for me anymore. So this was fine, man. I took 2 trades on that right there. I lost on both of them, and I kept them very managed. I don't think I had too much negative stuff going on in my head. On the next trade is when I got frustrated. I'm sorry, the next 2 trades is when I got frustrated. And we'll see that it set off a chain of events that led me hitting my max loss today. And that's unfortunate, and that's, I think it's unacceptable. I know better, man. And I should have I believe, I don't know if I took a few minute break here. I think I might have took a few minute break after these 2. But again, they were smaller losses. I didn't go in heavy, I stopped out. But I could tell my execution was a little shaky early on the rip. So let's go to the next trade. So Sint was the next one, and I liked this one a lot more. And I think I was a little too aggressive on it too early. Maybe not, but let's just see. That's why I'm here kind of looking at this. This had a much better, like a kind of a grinding move. We're only up 50% here, so if we get a nice pullback, like that would have been a lot better. I kind of had the this wick right here marked off as like a potential area to pull back. You can see it right here on the 5. If we pulled back into that area, that was just kind of like, an idea of what I might expect it to pull back to. But really, it could have bounced out the 1 minute 20 VWAP right here. So I was definitely getting ready to take my first stab on it right here, especially with this 5 minute candle about to close. If it wanted to hold VWAP and that next candle be like a push candle and maybe set up a 5 minute 3 bar, I wanted to be there if that happened. You can see we're kind of getting that push candle right here. And once we get that first 1 minute candle to make a new high, we tap the 1 minute 20. This is a pretty typical entry for me. Pretty typical entry. I didn't get bad fills on it, but I don't think this was a bad entry. I got 652s on it. I'm risking 625, so about 25 cents a share. I added a little bit more right there. I think I might have just had a hair too much size on this. Not really. This isn't terrible size on this. But guys, I think I really quickly got stopped out of this one. I got some slippage on the way down. That's why the loss turned out a little bigger than I wanted it to be. Still nothing crazy, but this would have been strike 3 in a row for me. Definitely got some slippage on the way out here. You can see it broke below. Quick cut. I mean, it was a quick cut. I didn't hesitate on my cut, but yeah, I definitely caught some slippage on the way down. But I mean, I think this was an okay entry. I mean, it's very typical to see, it push for highs in that area, especially holding the VWAP here, but it just didn't do it here. Yeah, it just stopped me out there. I cut it right there. Caught some slippage on the way. And at this point in the morning, I was 0 for 3. I think I was okay still. I was like, all right, things aren't working. But guys, I think I could have definitely slowed down right in this moment and been like, okay, I've lost 3 trades in a row. It's only 7:30 in the morning. Probably should have just cut things back a lot. That's the time to like really cut size, maybe fucking get up and take a walk, go touch some grass, whatever the fuck. But I think what really got me frustrated was when I tried this one more time. When we had a very clear wick right there off the 5-minute 8. Let's see how I played this. Yeah, so I put in another dip off of that level that I had. I had expected it to hold here, and that's exactly what it did. But I followed my plan and I took that first pullback right there. It just ended up not working, and I'm like, okay, I still have some conviction in this play because we're not up that much. This one did have breaking news, and I was willing to try it again. And I did right there. Once the 1-minute candle made a new high again, I think I could have just, maybe just got some entries right here, anticipating for this level to hold, because I got it was just a little bit, it had a bit of a range on it. So again, I'm in here at 646 and my risk was $6. It's a pretty decent range. It's about a 50-cent range right there. Well, what did I at least wanted to see was it to try to push for new highs right here. We're getting a good push right there, guys. Here's the problem. The big mistake. And I don't really know if I'm going to count it like, as something I did wrong, but I was really looking for it to push over that 713. And I think what was going on in my mind, I think I was just kind of thinking like, oh, if I get it to break over 713 and maybe get a squeeze to 750, I can get pretty close to break even on the day. And those thoughts, like right there, I think they manipulated what I was seeing. And it led to me to not even taking anything off the table once we kind of like broke over 7 here. There's definitely some resistance right there, but that little pop right there, kind of want to watch the tape here because I was definitely watching the tape close. I'm like, I wanted to see that 713's level crack, and then I would have took some off. But look, I got a good pop right there. I could have took some off. Could have took some off again right here. I mean, we're over $7 right there, but there was some resistance right there at 7. Not a crazy trade right here, but a decent base hit nonetheless. And guys, I didn't get any profits off, man. And that got me frustrated. It definitely got me frustrated. I should have at the worst stopped out break even here, but I was giving it a chance right here. I was like, okay, maybe he wants to pull back, test this 1-minute 20. But as you can see, this purple line is my position. I was like, I kind of risk break even here. I was like, I kind of wanted to see this hold this level. Ultimately, it did not. Once I seen it crack in my entry, I just stopped out of the rest right there. So I think this was this is what got me in a bad mindset right here. Was I had a nice base hit right here. I didn't play it perfect. Didn't get a crazy entry on it or anything, but I still stuck to the setup. And it did come fucking a couple sets away from my target, and I just didn't get any off the table. I didn't take any profits. I should have at least taken half. I was really just saying, I wanted it to pop through that 17 level or 713 level. And I had conviction that I did. And I think I was spoiled from on Friday when those plays were ripping through my freaking targets. And yeah, man, this is really good for me to see because, I'm definitely going to secure some gains next time, even if it's half. Because there's just no reason I shouldn't have taken some profits off the table. And I had my position return all the way to break even. And I even lost a little bit on that one. So guys, 0 for 4 in the morning right here. How do you think I'm feeling? Not that good. But still, nothing was out of control. Nothing was out of control at this point. At this point, I think that I was okay. I needed to I went and took a break. I got my kids up and got my kids breakfast ready and all that stuff. But I don't think I don't think I had resolution, and I should have. This is when you insert the logical thinking process, because what's going in my mind right now is probably not good things. It's probably like, oh, I just made a mistake. I should have took a profits. What an idiot. You're not a good trader, blah. All this bullshit starts coming in your head. And this is when you got to fucking stop that shit in its tracks and you got to insert some logic like, okay, I'm 0 for 4 right now. Let's just say I tried my best. These things happen. I need to be patient for the next setup. Maybe size down, take a break, like things like that. A more productive line of thinking. And I don't think I took enough time to do that before coming back after 8 a.m. So let's just go back and see at 8 a.m. what I did. Okay, so here was the next play that I traded at 8 a.m. Guys, a pretty much big old fat stick up. In hindsight, this thing was a pretty big move and very extended. Let's see. You know, but it kind of had this 5-minute flag look right here. This one did have breaking news. I had a pretty clear risk right here that I could have tried this 5-minute flag setup, but, you know, I didn't really wait for it to come test the 5-minute 8 because the 5-minute 8's pretty down here. I think I went ahead and took this setup right here. Yeah, so as it was curling off this area right here, I took a trade on it. Nothing crazy on the size, but this one also had big spreads too. This was a pretty wide entry. So I was risking to lower this pullback right here. Let's just back that up, tooted it back a little bit. I even had a little glitch right there. But yeah, I seen this. I was looking for that first 1-minute candle to make a new high to maybe push. I think this thing was just a little extended, man. I don't want to say I did anything like super out of the ordinary wrong on this. You know, it was the very first pullback. It had news. Yeah, we were a little bit extended. But man, it could have gone. I think I probably should have maybe, I don't even know. Kind of took an entry how I normally would. I didn't get a good fill on it because it didn't freaking originally fill my order. The 640, I'm risking, you know, 593s here, the lower this pullback. Kind of looked like it wanted to maybe be a push candle. But it very quickly came back down and stopped my ass right out. Quickly stopped me out there. 0 for 5 on the day. 0 for 5. You know, that just might have been an early entry, but I mean, hindsight's 2020, man. You just really never know. This thing could have ripped right there, but I think it was just extended, man. Yeah, that thing put in such a big dip after that, too. I think I even tried it again down here. I mean, this pullback gave back most of the move. But my idea here is that we finally came and tapped the 5-minute 8. Maybe it's worth another shot. We kind of wanted to curl here, but this is more like a bear flag. It's just starting to get forceful here, man. It seems like I'm in this habit, you know, looking at it, it seems like I've been in this habit of trying things 2 times, like every single time. And I don't think it's worth it all the time. I think what's stuck in my mind is like the times that it's worked. But I mean, as you can clearly see, it wasn't working today and everything was just popping and dropping. And that's not the day to be fucking trying shit over and over and over. And with some pretty relative decent size, you know, this one was a little bit tighter, but still 30 cents a risk right here. Like, yeah, it's a pretty good range, but I mean, I just don't think this thing had the strength. That thing came back and stopped me out. Oh, this was an interesting one here, man. So let's go back. Yeah, I got stopped out of there right there. I'm like 0 for 6 on the day now. Taking 2 trades on 3 different stocks and they all were losers. I mean, when am I going to hit the brakes? As you can see, I was kind of just trading back to back to back. Fucking big, just not, it's a no-no, man. It's just a no-no. At this, I mean, I could have stepped away a long time ago for maybe just for pre-market and been like, okay, you know, my execution's not there. Nothing that I'm touching is working. Now, here's STI. This was the trade that I traded earlier. I didn't mind this setup because here we have a downtrend. This is after 8 a.m. The volume is increased since at the 7 a.m. And we kind of broke through this downtrend area right here, and now we're setting up a fresh 5 minute move right here. I was interested in this play, but I already missed my entries on it. I kind of missed like where I would usually get my entries right there. But anyways, I was like, you know what? I could still take a trade on this. It had my setup. Here's the clear risk off would be to lower this pullback right here. Let's see what happens. So I was like, okay, I can use this as a risk off. This isn't a bad entry, guys. This is not a bad entry. Is it bad because I just took like 4 losses in a row since 8 a.m.? Yes. I wasn't focused and, my execution was already not there. And here I go. I'm just, trying to find a winner. Just wasn't worth it this morning. But in hindsight, this was out of everything that I traded at 8 a.m. This was the best setup. Because this one actually made a little bit of sense. Because it had a very clear, we could break the 5-minute flagpole right here, test this level, and then clear out pre-market highs if it really wanted to get strong, and everything else was kind of just shit in the bed. So I did take a little bit of size on this one because I was more comfortable in this position because it was a better setup for me. I knew what I wanted to see on it as well. And man, this one, this was a trade. This was a one that really tested my discipline on my stops. Because, oh my God, every fucking little demon was in my ear telling me, oh, don't cut it, don't cut it, don't cut it. But I'm like, listen, man, this is probably the trade I didn't want to cut more than any of them. But I said, if I have to do one thing, I have to respect my stop. I know that I'm over trading and I'm tilting right now. I even told myself that in the moment. Still wasn't able to catch myself and take myself out of that mindset. But, it was coming down to test my risk off. And man, old me was definitely in there yapping its mouth saying, just give it a little room. Just give it a little room. Yeah, I fought that shit hard, man. I fought that shit hard. I didn't want to cut it at all. I promise you I didn't want to cut it. that demon was in me. Just ready to fucking bag hold this thing like I used to. Coming down and testing that risk off. Looked like it wanted to hold right there too. I was like, okay. The incentive here, what it was to break this downtrend right here and make a good push. And this would have been a good winner. Not terrible entry either. I'm sitting at like a 780 average. I'm risking 15 cents a share. This is nothing out of the ordinary. The size I took on it was definitely too big for my 0-7 track record on the morning and how everything else was shitting the bed. Definitely a little too much size. But guys, I cut it when I said I was going to cut it. But oh God, listen. This is textbook tilt right here. Textbook fucking tilt. I remember I literally, when I got stopped at right there, and I seen that wick come in, I literally spoke out loud. I said, no, fuck you. I literally said it out loud, man. I was in like, at this point, I was too far gone. I was just too far gone. I literally spoke the words. I'm like, no, fuck that. Because it literally just stopped me out, and now it puts in this big old candle right there. And looks like it wanted to kind of fake out that level. I literally said, nah, fuck that. And I slapped another fucking 400 looking for that breakout. A shitty entry, not the best entry at all. I was in higher than I was before. But this is just how you know I was too far gone, man. I literally just got stopped out. And I literally said, man, fuck that. Like something just like possessed me. My tilt man possessed me. But then look, we were starting to get that breakout, but guys, fucking fake out right there. I had to stop out again. I had to stop out again. Right there. They got me on this one, man. I don't know who they is, but I got myself on this one. That was just pure emotional reaction and trading right there. Not the first entry so much, but that other one, yeah. Definitely. Now this one was actually the one that ended up fucking working out, but it didn't work out for me. Not when I got in it. I took an entry too early. I mean, guys, you can see this is right after this trade. I mean, I was just going in and in and in and in and in. That is tilt for you, man. That is tilt for you. And at this point, I was starting to get ready or getting close to the time where I had to start go get ready for work. So I was like, on this one, hey man, let's be patient. At least we'll grab that first 5 minute. I'm sorry, that first pullback right here. This one had news, but this wasn't like a clean chart or anything like that. I mean, that was a pretty big sell-off right there. This thing did end up like freaking reclaiming this whole level and breaking this high a little later, but not for me. I took an entry right here, full size, and then boom, hit my daily pause, man. Hit my daily pause. And yeah, that thing ended up, I didn't catch it on my screen, but pretty much this one held up like a little bit after this and then reversed. Kind of want to show you actually. This was like the only play that actually made a reversal and went back to the upside this morning. So yeah, I took the loss right in this area right here. And guys, look, I mean, I wasn't patient enough to wait for that 5 minute A tab. Look, because this thing came down, tapped the 5 minute A perfectly, and then it just reversed all the way and actually broke out for new highs right there. A whole $1.50 a share. But yeah, I'm getting pretty long on the video, man. Definitely a lot to work on, man. You know, I didn't take a single winning trade today, and that's not the problem. That a trade wasn't the winner. It's that I just kept taking stabs and stabs and stabs at things just wasn't worth it. And you know, that's a big thing that I'm working on is trying to understand like why I ended up trading like that today. Especially after Friday, which Friday was such a good day, man. Like everything was working out, like my executions were on point, and it just doesn't make sense to come in here. Even after having a decent day yesterday, pretty respectable green day yesterday. It just doesn't, you know, and I noticed I struggle the most when it slows down, like because even yesterday we have some pretty good action. Friday was really great action. And then when things start slowing down, I mean, it was very clear that after my first like 2, 3, even 4 trades that they weren't working. Like that's a clear sign like, hey, it's not a strong morning. Because if it was a strong morning, then my plays would have probably been ripping out. Or at least half of those would have. But the fact that everything was just giving back its gains, giving back its gains, giving back its gains, that's when I really need the work right there is on the mental game side. It's not on the technical side at that point. All the hardship and all the stuff starts to come on the mental side. And I'm still learning how to do that. And I have the transparency to come in here and talk about it on these videos because there's just no other way to fix it, man, but to talk about it. And I tried to, you know, I'm going to try to map this out and like kind of catch it in the moment next time so I can kind of get myself back to like a logical thought process. And yeah, man, you know, I'm going to come in tomorrow morning, the same me. You know, not the same me. I hope to be better. I hope to be better tomorrow. And, but yeah, guys, I'm going to keep coming back to my strategy. I know I'm going to get, you know, those good days are going to come. They're always going to come, and you're always going to have those good days, no matter how fucking shitty you do on your worst days. It's all about, you know, fixing your worst day. And today was an example of my worst trading. That's my C game. It was like my F game, but this is my C game of trading when I make obvious mistakes and things like that. So if you just work on your C game, you know, you kind of inch your way to a better process. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for me. Hoping to have a much better trading day tomorrow. And we're just going to keep on with the journey, man. This shit never ends, but it's a journey, and I always have a lot of work to do. So peace.